Nice PCE data yesterday pushed the markets higher, but oil lower time frame is now looking super bullish, and that could mean we've got shorts coming in hot. This is the daily entry, Dow, NAS, oil, gold, and of course BTC day trading setups just for you guys. Let's go. Now, I didn't have the best day on the NAS yesterday. I actually took a stop on one of the big short zones on that NAS. So pretty frustrating for me, but Bitcoin was one of our outperformers. That Bitcoin short really played out pretty nicely for us yesterday. So let me know in the comments after this video if you guys got that Bitcoin short. Now, let's talk about what is going on at the moment. I'm looking at potential shorts at the moment on the US30, which is the Dow, on UBIT and on Prime XBT. You can see we are pushing into my entry zones. These are going to be my first tentative zones that I'm looking at. Just a reminder before I jump into the reasoning behind all of this stuff, the rules of engagement here, guys. We are not looking to hold big trades here. We're looking for good reactions in good areas, quick in, quick out, make some money and get out. That's how you've seen me move that trading account to 250% in a week, and that is how I've been going about it. So short little moves here. We're cutting the losers early. If we're getting rinsed, we chop them early and we look into the next zone. Okay, let's start with oil. Why am I feeling bearish on the NAS and the Dow? Well, look at oil. It has just flipped bullish. Look at our oscillator here on the downside, printing bullish divergence, multiple reversal prints as well. And I believe at the moment that there's a possibility oil can run up now and fill this gap. Okay, so you see we've got a gap over here. And in terms of rejections on oil, we're looking at about 88 and we're looking at about 90 at the moment. So in terms of oil shorts, I'm not looking for oil shorts. I believe this thing is going to start pushing a little bit higher at the moment. So not going to be trading this one today. My interest lies with the NAS and the Dow. Now, this is the NAS on the 45-minute time frame that is starting to make sense to me in terms of potential reversals. Now, it was frustrating for me yesterday because you can see if you take a look at our oscillator here to the downside, this thing was looking pretty bearish. Look at all that divergence printing there on that downside oscillator, and we can see now the signs of exhaustion are really starting to come into the NAS. So we've got our price going higher and we've got our oscillator going lower, and that's telling me momentum is starting to run out. So what am I looking for today? At the moment, I want to see a NAS rejection somewhere in this box. Now, these are two very big zones and they can be individual trades with very tight stops, or you could look for some kind of bigger reversal. So trade number one, guys, 28,580 looks like our first short on the NAS. If it does punch a little bit higher, look at this. We've got an undercarriage here. We've got a 618. You know, a lot of guys are going to trade that 618, and that is at 28,750. So those are the two short-term short options. If it runs higher, which is a possibility, obviously, we can't say it has to fall over. If it runs higher, we're going to be looking for shorts at 29,172. Now, the fun part about today is myself and 𝗕𝗢𝗢𝗓 are going to be live trading on the Banter channel. So you can find a link to that channel right here and come watch us live trading in a couple of hours. It's going to be at 3 p.m. SAST. Okay, so by the time you've watched this video, we're probably 1 or 2 hours away from that live trading session. Okay, so let's go. NAS, you know what the story is. In terms of longs, not hunting just yet, but possible bounces here. 27,920 looks interesting. We'll try and catch that on the live session. Now, let's talk about the Dow. You can see the Dow is moving into my first entry zone of the day, and very similar to the NAS. This is 45 minutes. We do have some bearish divergence, but interestingly, they could force it up one more time. Okay, so in terms of using risk management and stuff, make sure you have a stop in the right zones here. I'd say anything above 52707 on this chart, or even as high as 52762 could be a reasonable stop zone for you for this first drop on the Dow. If they do send it higher, guys, the next big zone for me is 52,941. So right now, looking for something like this, a little punch up here, and then a drop on this Dow. If the US opens for whatever reason nice and bullish again, I think this is the next zone we're going to get some value on a short, and hopefully catch this on the live trading with us. Okay, so that is 52,930, 940 in that type of region. Let's talk gold. Super frustrating, guys. Front ran my short zone. That was the one I gave you yesterday, 4,130. Look at that. We just didn't tap that fib. So pretty frustrating there for me. And now gold is on its way down. This is the 2 hour I'm watching, and you can see the oscillator actually wants to start drifting a little bit lower. So where am I going to engage on gold? I think we need to wait again. 4,000 looks like the most reasonable area to me, where we can have the lowest amount of risk with the highest probability of a bounce. Okay, so 4,003 into just below 4,000 for gold. hold. If it does rip higher today, I think we can try these shorts for 130. That'll be a nice rinse there of anyone holding shorts there. They'll come and take out some stops, and then they'll drop this thing lower down. Okay, so look out for that. And then let's talk about the big dog. So I did start adding a little bit to my Bitcoin short yesterday. I'm now 100,000 short on BTC. And what is the next plan? What am I expecting for today? So in terms of the short, you can see we punched into that zone. Nice rejection, nice liquidity grab. We've dropped down into our local support level. And right now, which is what I told the hackers this morning on the private Zoom session as well, is we can expect a short-term bounce on BTC. But I am, based on the 2-hour time frame, I'm actually looking for lower on Bitcoin. So if we do get a short-term bounce today, we're looking for something like that. I would say the extreme of a possible short-term bounce that we might be witnessing today would be around about 64,650. That looks pretty reasonable to me for a short-term bounce here on the markets. And then I would actually like to see lower on Bitcoin. And you might actually find that Bitcoin pushes up. Maybe the NAS and the Dow have one more push up, and then they all drop together. So that is my current planning there on BTC. So short-term bounce over the next couple of hours, then maybe a drop lower. And then where are we engaging in fresh longs? I think the 2-hour will be our guide at the moment. And you can see this 2-hour oscillator that I'm tracking at the moment on BTC does want to come lower down. Okay, now there's a whole host of levels lower down for BTC, but I'd say safely in terms of initial engagement, 62,350 into 61,800 looks like the most reasonable first zone here for us to catch a Bitcoin bounce. If things drop lower, guys, I'll cover all these levels in the Discord. We'll probably cover some of these levels on the live trading. You can see there is some lower zones there into about 61K. Okay, remember, guys, all of these charts, they go into the Chart Hackers Discord for you directly after the show. You'll find them there in my TradFi section in the Discord. And remember, if you're enjoying this content, hit the like, hit the bell, hit the subscribe thing, and leave a comment. You know, are you enjoying it? Are you catching some of these positions? Let me know how it's going for all of you guys, and share it with some of your buddies. That's your daily entry. See you guys later.